Okay, so up next, we have a discussion between Eric, Executive Director at Celo, and Fabian from Deutsche Telekom, who would discuss SocialConnect.
Hey guys. Hello? Oh yeah, mine's on. So mine's on.
Oh, how about now? Okay, cool. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining attending our panel. And just a quick shout out to the group after us who was very kind to split their time with us so that we could talk about this project. Again, my name is Eric Nakagawa, Executive Director at Celo Foundation, and really focus on helping bring as many people as we can into blockchain through things like mobile and what we call prosperity for all. And today I have Fabian. Fabian.
Hey guys, happy to be here. My name is Fabian. I'm working with Deutsche Telekom and I'm leading the product management for our Web3 topics there. And I'm personally, but I think also from a company perspective, I can say that we're pretty bullish on bringing identity on chain. And I think this is what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, so that's a great starting point. The main thing that I wanted to talk about in the title of this conversation that we're having is about SocialConnect, and the SocialConnect protocol is a privacy first protocol that's intended to help normal people, everyday people, connect things like their phone numbers to their wallets. And for us, we think that a big part of kind of open finance is making it more accessible. So by having more people be able to associate phone numbers to wallets, we believe that it's something that a lot of people can relate to. I'd say everybody here has at least one phone in their pocket. I know he has two, and so a lot of us kind of look at your phone number as a type of an identity. With SocialConnect, also it had another more nerdy name before it became SocialConnect. I think it was called ASV1. But when SocialConnect was first launched, it was actually a core part of the Celo protocol. And it was a big part of helping onboard a lot of users and people into the Celo blockchain. Since launching and iterating multiple times, SocialConnect has actually expanded to include all sorts of social identifiers. But today's conversation, I think we can keep towards phone numbers. That's why we have Fabian from Deutsche Telekom. And one of the interesting things is a lot of people, when you're thinking about an identity protocol or anything regarding, helping people interact with and use Web3, is how many people are using it, right? And so there's a quick update for the crowd here, but we have over 3 million identifiers, so phone numbers, emails. Thank you. Over 3 million, and it's growing very rapidly. And so just to kind of share a little bit about where these identifiers are coming from, a lot of these are coming from wallets. So we have wallets like Valora, we have Kala, we have Node Finance wallet. And then more recently, Opera MiniPay has been a recent addition. And so Opera MiniPay only launched back in September, and it has had quite a bit of growth. And I think the next panel can go a little bit deeper about the information there. But they have over 80 million installs, and a lot of the new users that have come through Opera. So I'm very happy to have that. And the thing for me is having and seeing all these people joining on every single day means that as a protocol gains more identifiers, more users, more data, it starts to become more interesting. And a lot of what powers the current SocialConnect protocol is coming from phone numbers. And so Fabian, you're here, happy to have this conversation with you. I think for now we're talking about just tracking phone numbers, but I've learned from you that there is a lot more detail from a telecom provider that could be extended and added to things like SocialConnect. Not just this protocol; it's a protocol that can work for all chains. But for now, working with Celo and eventually more. But maybe we can talk a little bit about how important phone numbers are and kind of your perspective on the future of a protocol like this.
Sure. So obviously, as a telco, phone numbers are quite important. Basically, they represent, and I think a lot of people do not actually know, but phone numbers are associated like an asset in a telco space. So basically, the telcos own the phone numbers It's you as a users who are basically renting them with your contract. And so basically, as this is our asset, and whatever is happening to it, if it's mapped, for example, to a wallet address, it's still our asset. So we have to make sure that it's mapped in a proper way. And I think what you were referring to is that there are a lot of life cycle operations attached to phone numbers. Just imagine porting to another operator, change your phone number because I don't know, you've been a victim of a stalking case, or there's a lot of operations happening in the back, and we also, maybe to bring some background information here, Deutsche Telekom, we strategically invested into Celo. So because we saw this fit in a lot of values here, because it's mobile first, and this totally relates to what we are working for. And so basically, the phone number in any project that we're building in the Web3 space, the phone number is the essential part. It's the core part. And basically, we believe that making the phone number kind of like the wallet address, at least towards the average user, increases usability massively, and also adds a lot of security because phone numbers are somehow, you said this right now, it's part of your identity somehow already. In most cases you carry your phone number to the next operator and you stick with it for a long time, so it becomes part of your identity somehow. And when it comes to the uniqueness of phone numbers, it's just like, from our perspective, the identifier to make Web3 mass market adoption possible. And as a telcos, maybe also you're familiar with this two-factor authentication stuff when you sign into your banking account and all of this. This is done through the telcos. So we are running number verification. There's certain standardized services in the back that we run. We can do, at least in Europe, I think US it's not yet there, but we can do SIM swap protection and all this stuff just by navigating through our network. And this is why I say, on the first hand, phone numbers can add a lot of usability in terms of I can send digital assets now to whatever phone number I have in my contacts. The second point is we can add a lot of security to the topic as well, because we can scan through the network, see whether there has been any fraudulent activity related to a phone number, and provide the security to the society. So.
Yeah, just to go a little bit deeper, I think the way that SocialConnect currently works is people associate, they register their phone number to a wallet, and then other dApps wallet providers can query the service to get that wallet address for a tiny fee. To your point, what I'm hearing is that telcos like Deutsche Telekom, because you have access to a lot of this open technology that is very far away from Web3, there's an opportunity here for protocols like SocialConnect to extend or even bring in some of that information, so that as it relates to, for example, if I'm sending money to a friend and then in the background there is a Deutsche Telekom service, let's say, that checks the, whether or not there's been like a SIM swap or some sort of like fraudulent activity, it could potentially prevent me from sending it someplace and then having it get sent off. And I think that's very interesting, especially for a lot of the users that have been coming through, joining things like Opera MiniPay. A lot of them are based in Africa, where I would say that it's very important for them to have the idea and know that they're if they associate a wallet to a phone number to a wallet, that anybody who's interacting with it, if it's another person's a friend or another business even, that they could at least know before they send money. Because once you send it, you can't get it back. And I think it's interesting to hear that there's technologies like this that could be made available to protocol. Are there any other thoughts you think? Because one of the biggest things for a protocol like this is, 3 million is a lot, and we're very excited to have that, and that number is growing quite rapidly. But if you look at telcos right now, Deutsche Telekom has, I think, over 200 million registered phone numbers. 250, that's a lot, right? I mean, we would love for those people to be coming into the Web3 space, and like with Celo becoming an L2, I do think that is and can be a great gateway. But is there any other kind of trends you see from a telco perspective that can benefit a lot more of the kind of wider Web3 beyond just the security pieces, maybe some application ideas and things like that?
So I think user first. I think we're what you just said. We improve usability, and but there's also I mean today we have all of this information, but it's more or less siloed in our own ecosystem. So we as Deutsche Telekom, we have this information for our phone numbers, and other operators have the information for their numbers. I think there's also, let's say, an efficiency case for telcos. Imagine if you would bring this information on chain, then we would all no longer have to manage our proprietary systems, but we could rely on a public blockchain. So I think there's potential here. Obviously, we have not gone into very deep detail yet to figure this out, how this might work. But I think it's a win-win situation. So and also for businesses. So in the peer-to-peer transaction, okay, you can build this in, but also for businesses in order to provide more secure services to others. I think this information of, hey, this user is 24/7 verified, or what we can also do is geolocation detection. So we could also say, hey, this user is currently in a country where crypto is maybe forbidden, and then we can also just jump in and prevent certain activities to happen. So I think there's a lot of potential here, what we can do with this information, but today the information is still, let's say, off-chain.
Yeah, I mean, and again, kind of focusing this back into this open finance world, I think data that is in a centralized system that can be made available to open systems like blockchain, I think do open up the possibility for them to be reused, repurposed, again with consent of the user, especially with security in mind. And so I think that's very, exciting in the sense that all this data that you're talking about, I've never personally seen, but it all happens in the background. And so with telecom projects or big telecom operators, seeing a technology like SocialConnect, I think, and seeing the opportunities, what I heard is that there's an opportunity here for introducing new services. SocialConnect itself is a token, and not a token, sorry, it's a protocol that does charge a fee. And so as you add more value, you would think that the fee could also be, more helpful for paying for these sorts of maintenance of these things. And also, I also heard in general, kind of reducing the cost by trying to find more ways to move that data out. Maybe you don't have to maintain a massive, old mainframe and things like that. We're at time, and I just wanted to pass to you like a quick final thoughts before we close out and hand off to the next group.
Okay, I think you just summarized it perfectly. So I don't have to add any more stuff. I'm just curious about how to get started, because for us as a telco, it's still like a little difficult to really foresee how we can actually do this, whether this adds any value for us, because we also have to make our own business. So looking forward to explore further what we can do, not only talking for Deutsche Telekom, but more for the telco industry, how we can actually support onboarding the next billion users, because as said, only Deutsche Telekom, T-Mobile together, we have 250 million users, but this excludes all the other operators, so there's much more.
Yeah, and with that, I would say keep an eye out. I think there's a lot of new things coming and a lot of interest from our community to kind of grow this protocol further. And so with that, I just want to say thank you to everybody here, and thanks to OpenFi. Thank you.
Thank you.